Alright guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you very much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Shout out to all the subscribers and big up and gratitude to anybody new locked in. We've got an absolutely fabulous fight this coming Saturday. Vergil Ortiz is back. He's taking on the interim WBC 154-pound champion Serhil Bohachuk in what basically is going to probably be a fight of the year, at least for a candidate on paper. And it's one of those fights where you look at it, you think, well, this can't not be a really good fight because of their styles and because of their KO ratio. Vergil Ortiz, obviously a beast of a fighter, beast power, getting smarter and smarter as his campaign goes on. Incredible talent. He really is, and he's going to be, you know, now he seems like he's fit and healthy. He only has had 2 rounds at 154 in the last 2 years, so this is going to be great for that, because I think he's going to get a lot more than 2 rounds in this. Bohachuk's a tough guy, and he brings it, you know, he throws a lot of punches. He's very tenacious, Ukrainian, tough guy, you know, pretty straightforward with his attacks. He likes to throw a lot of jabs, and he likes to back his opponents up, and he's actually one of his assets. He's excellent at cutting the ring off. He's just coming off a really good win against Brian Mendoza, and I was watching that fight this morning. And what Bohachuk does, one of the few rare fighters these days, which is crazy to me, cutting the ring off. For anyone that doesn't know, it's basically you're trying to, in essence, make the ring feel a bit smaller for your fighter, and make it feel like you're on them the whole time, but guide them into an area you want them to go, cut off where they're going so they have less space and less time to what they do. But there's far more to it than that. It's a psychological pressure of if you let someone go where they want to go, and you're not cutting it off, and you're not shutting down certain gaps, and you're not right in their face, you're not cutting the ring off properly, and that gives them a more sense of freedom in the ring. Where if you are cutting the ring off and you're on them and you're cutting the edges off, then not only can you engage with them, but it's a psychological drain for that fighter. I don't think he's going to be cutting the ring off too much with Vergil Ortiz. They're not going to be hard to find, you know, but Bohachuk does that. So that to me is intelligence. Keeping that up is a little bit of intelligence and, you know, discipline too, because cutting the ring off for me it's a discipline that you have to keep up doing it. You know, you can't just do it once or twice. That's why Regis really struggled with that against Zaria and against Haney, which is why I picked Haney, because he's not great at moving forward, but like cutting the ring off, he did it once or twice, but you have to do it all the time. But as I said, we won't be needing that in this fight, because there's going to be fireworks probably straight away. And it's an excellent fight. It really is. Vergil Ortiz is going to be coming forward and landing that power jab.
Just picking his shots wisely. Popping that jab. That's a stiff, hard jab that Buckle Lawson. That jab hurt Lawson.
And he's got a tremendous jab. He's a tremendous body puncher.
Lawson wobbled a little bit there. He saw a little buckle in the knees after one of these body shots.
He doesn't waste punches when he's out of range. So that's
good shot to the body. And Thomas Delorme rolling around in a heap.
Obviously, the last stoppage he just got against Delorme, it barely looked like he'd even put any effort into it. He just threw the shot like that, beautifully timed, great technique, landed right on the liver, bang, fight over. That was a sensational punch, and just think he could have thrown that 50% harder. So look, Bohachuk has lost before. He's been stopped before. He's on a good little run, and he's talked about his stoppage. It was against Brian Adams, and he just got caught kind of being overcommittal on the ropes. You know, he likes to really attack.
And let's talk about this. Bohachuk hadn't been past 6.
Counter left hand there by Adams. Good hook. He's going for it.
There he comes.
He's going for it.
And, you know, let his hands go, and he just got a bit careless, got caught with the left hook, and, you know, the fight was done. So I think he probably learned from that. I think he changed trainers. He was now with Manny Robles, who he's speaking very highly of. Excuse the train while I just try and talk over it. But he's in good spirits. You know, I watched the little show off or face off with Gabe Rosado earlier today. I think it's only about 5 or 6 minutes long. But they're both very calm, both very respectful, and they're ready to fight. And they both know what they're going to get themselves in for, because Vergil Ortiz has got a lot of respect for this guy, as does Bohachuk. They both know their styles. They both know, you know, what kind of fight it's going to be. And even does Gabe Rosado was like, this is going to be a fight of the year. And it quite well could be. And it certainly is on paper. And I will be looking forward to this. I'm actually off this Saturday. Usually I work Saturdays. I have been doing recently. I've been missing a few fights, but this one I'm going to be making sure I've got nothing going on unless I get called in randomly last minute. But I can't wait for this fight. It's going to be action-packed. How's it going to go? Look, this is a tough ask for Serhil Bohachuk, right? Although he is on a good run. I'll pull up his box rec and some of the fights he's won, because I can't remember. He's had a couple of decent wins recently. He was actually in line to fight Fondora. Before the whole Zoo Fondora switch happened, I think he was going to fight. Yeah, I can't. And then they moved him around. Then he fought Mendoza, but he's had a couple of good wins. I forget off the top of my head, but he's a good fighter. He's a tough man. I told you, he's Ukrainian, well schooled, and he doesn't stop trying to win, and he doesn't stop trying to put the pressure on. He doesn't stop throwing punches, and you know, despite the KO loss, that is quite a major blemish against, you know, a fighter that, you know, he was all right in his day, Brandon Adams. No disrespect to him, but you know, he's not Vergil Ortiz, and you know, Vergil Ortiz is going to get his shots off. The question is, can he take Vergil Ortiz's power? Nobody's been able to do it yet, so I doubt it, to be honest with you. I can see Vergil Ortiz getting a stoppage, but I can see him having a little bit of a hard time, you know, like kind of like he had a little bit of a harder time with Mean Machine. Mean Machine had him over and hurt a little bit, and you know, it got the best out of him, because that's the kind of like heart Vergil Ortiz has got. When he gets dropped or he gets, you know, hurt a little bit, he wants to go straight back, and you can't teach that. And also, just recently he tweeted out watching the Bud Crawford fight. You know, he said, he's the kind of fighter that you need to hold back from the gym, because he said he wasn't going to go for a run, and he'd already done the workouts, and he went for a 7-mile run, because like, again, that is unteachable desire. He's one of those fighters that needs holding back, because and I think that, you know, I know he had some health issues before. That was probably one of the reasons why, because he just overtrains and can't. He needs to guide him in. So like, bro, calm down. But he's just so eager to go and so eager to get the best out of himself. I've got so much respect for that. Big part of this channel, you know, getting the best out of yourself, just from a personal level, from me trying to do it in my life, and to the fighters that I follow and I admire big time. And Vergil Ortiz is definitely one of them, and he's great for the sport. And he's been missed a little bit in the sense that he you know, he was coming through the ranks, and then he kind of had that health issue, and I'm glad to see he's okay. And you know, we want to see him in these big fights, because that 154 division, there are some amazing fights in there, and this is a stepping stone for him, probably. I don't want to downplay Bohachuk. He's a tremendous fighter. Recently he's been putting on some good performances, and he's a hard night's work, and this will be a hard night's work for Vergil Ortiz. But I think he's going to come off on top. I think he's probably going to win late stoppage, maybe a mid to late stoppage. I think the power's too much. I think his IQ's too much. I think Bohachuk is going to put up a brave spirited effort, but this might not even go to it might be a mid-round stoppage, to be honest. Mid to late stoppage. You can't sit there and bang with a guy that's punching way harder than you, and that is, punch placement is supreme. But you know, I think it's an excellent fight for Ortiz to get him ready for the bigger fights. Let's just say Tim Tszyu. Wow, what fights there are at 154. Let me know your thoughts, guys, on this fight, and let me know your thoughts on the 154 band division, or anything in general. If you got anything to say at all, I'm out of here. I hope you have a great week. Peace and love. Boxing on the edge.
Boxing.
On it.